This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you!
Boring. Boring. Boring.
Okay, you gotta work. Don't tell us what we're gonna feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're gonna feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. Remember what you're doing. You're in no position to dictate what we're gonna feel.
I call again for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the return of the sausages, the hostages.
Welcome one and all to Lembit Öpik Live here on Unprecedented TV, where we find the facts, kill the spin, and tell it like it is as best we can. And while we very much welcome opinions, we do worship facts. To the best of our knowledge, every fact that you hear on this station is actually real. If I doubt a fact from one of my presenters or indeed one of my guests, then I will challenge it. I encourage you to do the same. If you hear something that you think isn't quite right, we want to hear from you. We want to be the font of knowledge and also a home or an establishment for opinions. Never knowingly cancelled. We will always give you the right to reply and the opportunity to put your views forward, however outlandish. And please do subscribe and like to Unprecedented TV on YouTube. The more of you there are with us, the more we can do. We're looking for another 80 to get to another landmark 1,000 viewers. So please, maybe you'll be that 1,000th person. Well, we got more than 1,000 by a large measure. And I hope that means that some of you at least appreciate the facts that we go into. And facts is what we're going to deal with today. The facts, the science of climate change, together with the nonsense that you hear that causes a climate of fear. I argue, and here's my opinion, that there is no climate emergency. I further put it to you that the so-called climate emergency is a control mechanism to cause you to live in a 15-minute city, to prevent you from traveling. Obviously, those restrictions don't apply to Keir Starmer, our accident-prone and intellectually challenged, in my opinion, Prime Minister, who's just gone to China, one of the biggest polluters on the planet, except it's not really pollution. We'll talk about carbon dioxide later on. So on with the show. And today I'm joined with someone who's going to review stories that we've seen recently in the press claiming there's a climate emergency or perhaps disproving it. It's Paul Naylor, who's a fellow presenter here on Unprecedented TV, and even more importantly, a man of scientific faith, I suppose. Paul, good to see you.
Hello, sir. Scientific faith.
I know, I'm not sure where I got that from. I think I was thinking of the atheist Keir Starmer. His atheism seems to be that he doesn't believe in science. How is it, by the way, before we go any further, you're from the Alliance British Drivers. Why don't you introduce yourself in the unlikely event that some of our viewers haven't heard of you? Can that be possible?
Okay, well, hello, everybody. I'm Paul Naylor from the Alliance of British Drivers. I'm the Communications Director. And the Alliance of British Drivers, if you head over to abd.org.uk, what we do is, and it's been going on for a number of years now, we basically campaign on behalf of these 37 million or so drivers in the UK on their behalf on matters that are important to them. So it really is important that you engage with us, because what we can actually provide is lobbying power. There's a number of things over the years that we've been able to sort out, or certainly have a big opinion on. We regularly contribute to mainstream media when asked on various things that crop up, such as potholes, ULEZ zones.
What's ULEZ?
ULEZ. Oh, thanks for that.
You started it. No, you didn't. You invaded Poland. Well, I can say it. I can say it. Here. We don't censor faulty towers.
It's an ultra low emission zone. Thank you very much. There you go.
You passed just.
But any motoring matter that's just bureaucratic and just sort of lacks common sense, and basically that's what we're about. We like to take a common sense view of the world. We like to think that we are the voice of the silent majority. There's a lot of people out there that don't believe what's going on with the narrative that's been force-fed from government day in, day out, not only on motoring issues, but the wider story, such as net zero, climate change, whatever you want to call it. And today, Lembit and I will be talking about probably more leaning into the climate than motoring, but it does touch on each other quite often.
Are you trying to take over the show, Lembit and I? You do your job, I'll do mine. Right,
sorry,
pal?
Boss. Sorry, boss.
I am the law.
boss, a plane.
Who am I?
We received no transmissions. No, go on. Anyway.
Never.
I'm expecting a crook to come along now and drag me off.
I'm not sure that happened in Star Wars. Oh, dear, it's awful.
Oh, dear.
Never work with children and animals, they say. Right, I'm getting an instruction from the gallery. It says, get on with it. Right, okay, so let's do that. Let's start now. Which we'll try and do every fortnight is a review of news stories for and against the climate emergency. And I put my cards on the table here. I don't think there is a climate emergency. Oh, before we go any further, you've got to have the most boring living room in the world. This is my view from my studio.
Yeah, I need to get a better green screen, don't I? Yeah. Put it this way: it's either this or cardboard boxes. So we'll go with this.
Yeah, I would be more inclined to believe the cardboard boxes. I'm amazed by how many people have grand pianos in their front rooms these days.
I know. And these high-rise apartments, amazing.
Oh well, yeah. Don't you knock it? There's no copyright on that. The people who know the time in Dubai might be suspicious. Let's move on. Let's get to the first story. We saw this picture and photos from Russia's snowstorm that do not seem real. Look at the size of that. Is that made up? Is that made up?
I'm sure AI must have been involved in that picture.
No way.
We've all seen drifts over the years, but that is something else, isn't it?
Hey, I know. Put that back up. Put that back up again. Did you see what the gallery did there? They've got your logo in the corner. Full throttle. This isn't full throttle. Take it away. Take it away. I can't trust anyone these days.
We get everywhere. We like a bit of self-promotion. You know,
I own you. I own you.
I own you.
My blood sugar level's all wrong. Just get on with it. Yeah, get on with it. Okay. That's time me to get on with it. Here we are. When the code red narrative meets 5 meters of snow, the belief gap widens. That we are we managing the planet or just a net zero business model that ignores the cold, hard facts? While the UN discusses a 2050 boiling point, the Northern Hemisphere is currently buried in a 130-year record whiteout. From 16-foot drifts in Kamchatka to record-breaking depths in the Canadian Rockies, the winter of 2026 is a masterclass in natural variability. It isn't just weather, it's a reminder that climate is driven by complex forces like the polar vortex and solar activity, not just a single CO2 control knob. Let me translate that for our viewers. It's cold out there. and to quote Bill Murray in Groundhog Day, it's cold, it's grey, and it's going to last for the rest of your life. What is this telling us? What's this story telling us?
Well, I think in those last 3 words, if you want to include CO2 as a word, CO2 control knob. So that's enough about Ed Miliband.
That was really good.
You're welcome.
I'm surprised at you. That was really, really good. By the way, folks, we don't script this, perhaps you can tell. Right, anyway, what are we going to tell about Britain's favourite control knob?
So basically, this sort of weather phenomena, if you want to call it that. I mean, there's a lot of snow about at the moment. I can't remember who said it, but somebody in quite recent times said, I doubt my children will ever see snow.
Oh, well, Dr. David Viner
is
from
that
the discredited climatic research unit of the University of East Anglia. I must I must send an X out about him. I haven't done it today. Yeah, he said in the year 2000, thanks for reminding me, he said in the year 2000, I don't know if this is what he sounds like. In the future, I'm turning into Keir Starmer now.
I was going to say straight away.
They all sound like that when I ridicule them. In the future, a snow will be a very rare event. Our children just aren't going to know what snow is. That was 26 years ago. I think the people at Chamchanka, or wherever that is, I think they know what snow is. So yeah, he said children aren't going to know what snow is. Anyway, go on. You're going to say.
Yeah, I mean that photo has clearly been dramatically AI'd to death.
I think it may have been, yeah, a little bit, just a little teeny weeny bit.
But that's the beauty of AI, isn't it? It's there to catch the eye, and that's what it's done. So yeah, we've got a lot of cold weather. We've got a lot of snow. We've potentially got some more snow coming, I believe, just before Valentine's Day, which is great. That means nobody's going to take anybody out, so that's good.
You are so mean-spirited. You're so mean-spirited.
I'll order Mandy an Indian takeaway. It's not a problem. It's all good. It's all good. But we've been constantly forced this CO2 narrative that says that all these things that are going on, all these little bits and blips in weather, are down to us, and we're being made to self-flagellate over something that isn't real. Basically, I'm the same as you, Lembit. I just think this whole thing is a nonsense, and I think it's as much about trying to level up the wealth of the planet, which is a dangerous thing to do because let's say some of the poorer countries suddenly become on an equal footing with us, and then they become more financially sound than us. Are they likely to reciprocate? I don't think so. They're going to be very happy to be the new big boys in town. So I think that there's more to do with managing the planet than actual climate.
You're willing to boil the earth just to stay richer than the poor. You're willing to boil the earth.
Boil the earth.
Tuvalu Islands will sink beneath the Pacific Ocean, and billions of people will starve to death because the grass will literally catch fire in the sun.
Well, without CO2,
how cold are you?
Well, without CO2, there'll be no grass.
Good point. Well made, I suppose.
You know, plant life feeds off CO2. Animals feed off plants. We feed off animals and plants. So without CO2, we're going to be eating millipedes.
Well, no, hang on, that's meat. You can't eat millipedes. I thought you were heading in a rather odd direction there to begin with, at a millipede space. So essentially, it's really, really cold. I just don't think I'm saying it. Kamchatka or a place like that. It's really, really cold in some part of. Can you just put it on the screen? I'm trying to get that right. I don't know if they're going to put it on.
Kamchatka, I've got on my screen here.
Oh, that might be it then. Yeah, Kamchatka. Yeah. Apologies to viewers in Kamchatka, but you try and say Lembit Öpik right, and then Paul can't.
Yeah.
So
thank you. And apparently the depths in the Canadian Rockies have been sort of off the charts as well.
Paul Naylor. That's what you'd be called. Paul Naylor. It would be. That's what you'd be called there. So right, we've dwelt a little bit rather substantially on this one. Oh, incidentally, my team got this up for you. There we are. Yeah. Do you know why that's there? Do you know why?
Go on.
Because you said you're going to have an Indian takeaway.
Aye.
Northern India buried. Eastern Europe's deep freeze. Apparently, that's not Northern India. That's America, isn't it?
That looks like America.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they're getting me back for moaning about the Full Throttle logo earlier on. But let's talk about America. They've been having phenomenal ice storm, mainly. I think quite a lot of snow as well.
Yeah.
Now, just at this point, what's the difference between weather and climate?
Well, I think for the normal man on the street, they would see both of them as just being the same thing, really. Climate, I suppose, if you were to drill down, is really what your the comfort levels, or what would be the expected norms for that time of year. I mean, we live in a country where we've got quite structured seasons. There's other parts of the world, obviously, where it's warm all year round or cold all year round. But yeah, I think the distinction between weather and climate for most people, they just roll it into the same sort of, ball. And
but I think that's unsatisfactory. I would put it this way.
Go
No
on.
offense, Paul. I would say climate is.
I've hit a bit of a wall here.
Hey, no. You must. In that case, you must be bricking it.
I am.
It's all glass where I am.
Yeah.
And the difference between weather and climate. Weather is what happens day to day, and climate is what happens over a longer period. So you could have 5 cold days in a row. That's not really a climate change, but 5,000 cold days in a row would be. And I think that the mistake for me that the climate crisis people, and I am not one of them, opinion coming up, folks, there is no climate emergency. But the mistake the climate crisis fanatics make is it's hot days. Oh, look, climate change. But when it's cold, they go, oh, that's just weather. So they have mixed up or technically conflated the two. I know that if I start saying, oh, it's been really cold for a few days, that means it's global cooling, then I could be accused of the same thing. It's true. But what I'm saying is they can't have it both ways. If they want to have the hottest day ever in Britain as climate change, then if you have record cold, then that should also be global cooling. In reality, I think what you've said is it's just natural variation, Paul.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you're right. The way that the news, the sort of general media jump on these things is you'll see the headlines come up on the late evening news. There might be some story about war or whatever. The next one comes up about the weather. And then when they dig deep into that story, it's just nonsensical. It's just they make such a drama out of a very hot day or a very cold day or, a lot of snow. Why make such a fuss about it? You could quite easily flip it the other way and say, oh, isn't it a cracking day today? I've had 2 Soleros and a Magnum. Or a snowy day, the kids have been able to go out and build snowmen.
Are you being sponsored?
No. other ice cream treats are available.
Very poor recovery there. Let's talk about. We dwelled on that quite a lot. I just want to say, can we just talk about America briefly, and for a whole different show. It seems to me America really is having a lot of cold weather at the moment.
Yeah.
So Dr. David Viner can't say to at least 200 million Americans, your children just aren't going to know what snow is. The children are adults and they know what snow is. Maybe he thought, for 4 years it's not going to snow. Then it's going to get really, really cold. I just assume that everyone who talks rubbish sounds like Keir Starmer, apart from Ed Miliband, who literally sounds like this. So let's move on. I thought that was better, and I deserved more of a laugh.
Do you do the voiceovers on Spitting Image?
Oh no, actually, I don't. This
There's a job waiting.
This is a clue from the gallery that we got to get to move on. We've got to go to the break. We're over time for the break now. Right, this one. Scandinavia breaches -40 Celsius. Rare snow hits eastern Morocco. Guatemala drops below freezing. Rare 5 Celsius rains in Delhi as northern India shivers. Antarctic shows no meaningful warming since 1979. It's a climate crisis, Paul. We're freezing.
We're all doomed. We're all doomed. I mean, sensible people with common sense will look at that and go, it's just a blip. Things will change. It'll all get better. Don't worry about it. It's going to warm up soon. It's winter. It's winter. And if these are rare events, well, then that's exactly what it is. It's a rare event. I bet you they don't have the same situation next year. It's just a nonsense, isn't it? I mean, what do you read into it? When you see something like that, do you panic or do you just sort of shrug your shoulders and go on to the next thing? What's your thoughts?
My thought is simple. I think it is getting quite interesting. There are so many cold weather events. I would say we're getting close to statistical significance here. I do think that we're heading close to what you might say is a cooling phase. I'm sure from my opinion point of view that we are heading to a cooling phase because there's a natural cycle. We've got to the warmest time, which is good. That's good for life on Earth. And then we get to a cooling phase. So what I think is that there are so many individual events from New Zealand through to South Africa, and they're all bits of weather, but there's no way that the stupid catastrophist commentary is proving to be right. And they brought it on themselves. They're the ones who said children wouldn't know what snow is. So first of all, I don't think there's anything to be afraid of. And secondly, I do think, quite interestingly, we might be in the beginning of the cooling phase. Paul?
Yeah, I think the other thing there is that all the blame is being put on CO2, which is a ridiculous way to look at things. Instead of trying to come up with solutions, pointing the finger at at something that is actually necessary to life. And the amount of CO2 that we produce in comparison to what goes on in nature with cows and whatever else, it's insignificant, the amount that we produce. And so this attempt, if you like, to sort out a problem that doesn't exist, not only is it very costly, but if we were to do it as a country or as a group of countries, if we did it as the United Kingdom, and we push ahead with all this ideology of renewables, whilst other countries that are a lot bigger than us in terms of land mass and population, if they don't do the same, then what we do is completely ineffective anyway. And all we're going to be doing is making people poorer for no reason.
Well, just a brief one on this. We really are overrunning because we spend too much time larking about. That's what I've just been told in my ear. So take it seriously. How can I take it seriously? We're talking about climate change. All right. They're young. They're young. They've been taught that at school. Scandinavia reaches -40. That's cold. It really is cold. And then snow in Morocco. I have to say, in those countries, it's the opposite of what the Dr. David Viner from the discredited climatic research unit at the University of East Anglia said 26 years ago. These children are definitely knowing what snow is, perhaps for the first time. That's a great irony. I looked up Dr. David Viner. He doesn't work at the University of East Anglia's discredited climate research unit anymore. I wonder why. Right, stay with us. This is me taking a rather circuitous look at the climate cult agenda, looking at it through the press. Now, just a quick one. I was privileged to be in the studio when Claire Dyer, who does Dire Consequences, did something quite unusual. For the first time, she's actually done what you might call a monologue, expressing her frustrations and her views about leaders who don't lead but serve themselves, about communities that get oppressed by those leaders, and about a political system that she regards as broken. Claire Dyer very rarely talks about party politics. I don't remember her ever saying something about that. So it's not particularly directed at or against one party. But I think you really should watch her show if you're watching this live next Tuesday morning. Watch this. That's Claire Dyer with Dire Consequences. Fascinating. And you'll find all of this in our archive as well. And you can get that by subscribing and liking to Unprecedented TV on YouTube. You can follow me on X at Lembit Öpik. The revolution has started. It's running and it's going strong. With me still is Paul Naylor. There he is in his rather uninspiring living room. And also how I can exactly put it. Your place looks really boring.
It's very small.
When they come round, do they ever comment about how boring your background is?
No. I mean, I can switch it. I can switch it off, but there's an utter mess behind me, so I'm not going to.
Don't do that. You were trying to product place in a shameless product placement.
You're just having a sup on your USP cup. There you go.
USP mug imported from the United States of America. Thank you, Sarah, our chief operating officer.
So that went from being 50 cents a mug to about $60 a mug because of the import.
In 3 seconds. Oh, don't start talking about tax. They'll come and knock on my door. Go knock on the door, thanks to you now.
Oh,
lights out. Put the lights out. Tell them what on it. Let's carry on then. This isn't an unusual one. You can tell us about this. What's the story here? What's this about?
So basically, the climate agenda, with everything that's been going on in the weather, but also just the weight of popular opinion, where again this comes down to a lot of people not voicing their opinions, and unfortunately we are growing up in a time where opinions are being suppressed, but a lot of people are now turning their back on the climate agenda that is coming from the government, the narrative, and basically what was a gradual turning around of the voices out there that are saying this is nonsense, it's suddenly becoming a louder voice. So the climate narrative is being challenged at last. It's a little bit how politics are changing in our country. It's we're living in probably the most interesting times. Like I say, opinion is suppressed. The one thing that I always say, and it at a grassroots part of things in terms of schooling, and when I say schooling, I'm talking from sort of 4 years all the way through university. Back when we did that, Lembit, we were
when you did that.
Yeah, when I did that, we were taught how to think, not what to think. And that's the problem that we've got these days in society.
Exactly. That's why I studied philosophy. It was thinking about thinking, and now you're not taught that. You're taught what to think, as you say. By the way, I've just been told off because I have denied people free speech. I haven't read their comments. I'm coming to that now. I think ever since I mocked them for having your Full Throttle logo in the corner, they got rather mean to me. Ricky Sickles, who happened to know, fact, he's in the Philippines, fact. He says, okay, where's he at? I don't know. Oh, hello, bro, you're late. Oh, that was from the beginning of the show. Yeah, I was late because what somebody did, well, somebody came and messed with the studio. And things weren't as I wanted them. And I am the law.
Dubai wasn't where Ricky. It should be.
Ricky, whose bedtime must be 5 p.m. then. He's moaning about that. Ricky adds they got 2 feet of snow in Dayton, Ohio. That's interesting. I've been to Dayton, Ohio. Nearly got frostbite there at the best aircraft museum in the world, which is in Patterson Air Force Base, actually. Show the shirt, look good. Show the shirt, look good. Oh, it's a t-shirt. No, I tried to use my teacher's jacket because I was on with you.
You're looking like I said to you off air, you're looking very much like Adam Hills off The Last Leg to me, but
that only works for people who watch lightweight carbohydrate TV. I suppose, though, that sort of programming would look interesting if you live in a room like yours, or
if, like me, you're a type 2 diabetic and you've got to avoid carbohydrates. So there you go.
That's almost woke. Just trying to shame me.
Woke.
An all shame crime. Right, Christopher Jennings. Hello to Christopher. The last 50 years of false predictions are getting people ready for 20, 30, 15 minutes city slavery. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Ricky, who's on the go here. With the moving of the magnetic pole and India draining their aquifer and China building so much that they have about doubled the weight of their land, which has tilted the earth a few degrees. No, that last part's made up, Ricky. Basically, if everybody in China jumped up and down at the same time, do you know what would happen, Paul?
Very little.
there'll be a lot more knee replacement operations in China. Right, Ricky has become obviously a little bit more exasperated as the show's gone on. No wonder the weather sucks, he says. Professor Sickles, take a bow. Christopher says, natural variations of false weather station analysis. That's right. So we won't go into it today, but maybe a future show. Maybe we'll do a special on this. Yeah. I know you're into the fakery of weather stations, and your mate, Brian Gregory, who did a great show. He's doing some great shows abroad recently. That'll go out quite soon. I'm very big on showing that. Christopher, again, the data shows cooling with variations, i.e. peaks and troughs. That's right. And then Christopher Jennings said, now see if you understand this one. Unless you play hockey. What do you think Chris is referring to? Now, that's a real anorak joke, Chris. Go on.
I'm guessing that this is good weather for ice hockey.
No, you're wrong. I'm sure he's referring to a chap called Michael Mann, who made something called a hockey stick. We said, oh, the temperature's been like this, and now it's gone up like this, and we're up to burn. Off the screen, look, it's off the screen, it's off the chart, it's so hot. So he's talking about a hockey stick, which is also discredited. Do you know who Michael Mann, who's discredited in my view? Michael Mann, do you know, he tried to sue somebody who said that he'd done bad things, and he lost the case, I think. I can't remember quite how that ended, actually. I'll be careful. Look, Michael Mann, I'm really sorry if I've apparently libeled you. I'm really, really sorry. I don't mean a thing. I'm sure you're a great scientist. Do you know who Michael Mann used to work with?
Oh, the only Michael Mann that I can think of, he was a documentary maker.
No, he's a totally different guy. This guy worked at Pennsylvania State University, and he's this climatologist. He used to work with the discredited climatic research unit at the University of East Anglia. Fact. Hey. That's a fact. Well, the second part is discredited bit, is my opinion. And Ricky Sickles, who's still up in Philippines. I haven't had your hot chocolate yet. Watch out, by the way, product placement coming up in a moment. Oh boy, you're a hoot today, Lembit. Thanks, Ricky. Right, here we go.
Ooh. Where can I get one of those mugs, Lembit?
I don't know yet. I'm not responsible for merchandising. Let's move on. We're running way over here, but it is a lot of fun. So, okay, we're finishing off. We're going to have another look there. Then gradually, suddenly the climate scam narrative headed for bankruptcy. Now, the idea here is that it's really just a financial scam. I think they're right. I think there are well-meaning people who do believe it, but I think it's just a scam.
Yeah, I interpret it as we're now getting more people that are questioning what's been force-fed over the last few years, and for various reasons, people are turning against it. Not least of all from a finance point of view. I mean, what was the figure that was bandied around? Was it £4 trillion?
That's for UK, just for the UK.
For the UK.
Yeah.
And like in terms of sort of like GDP, I mean that was like, was it sort of? It was almost the whole of GDP would be taken up by that.
That is almost the aviation budget for David Lammy in a year. Almost.
Yeah. What we really need is we need somebody like Diane Abbott to do the sums, because she's really good.
How much is a carillon? That was a joke for long ago. It depends how up au fait you are with the news. Apparently, we have to skip 2 of the stories now because we've talked too much. Second last one, apparently.
Yeah.
What is this? What's that?
What is that?
Back-to-back Arctic blasts for US snow pushes across the Mediterranean and Caucasus. South Korea shivers. How the global warming pause was erased. Now, this is quite interesting. I take it this is climate models all showing different kind of stuff.
Well, things haven't been generally called global warming for some time now because different weather patterns emerged. The problem with measuring weather, Lembit, surely is that we've only got records over perhaps the last 100 years. So if we were to extrapolate that going back in time, this is probably just part of the normal pattern of things.
Yeah.
So we're measuring. It's a little bit like if like me, you keep looking at your pension and watching the fluctuation in the markets. if you zoom in on it, you would go, right, I'm drawing my money out. But if you zoom back, it's generally trending upwards. And I think that's the same as what's happening here. All this weather panic, and it's a way of suppressing people and sort of making them think that the things that hopefully, supposedly looming, but hopefully will go away, like these 15-minute cities, it's meant to make people feel comfortable rather than negative about being nurtured in such a way.
Well, I'm very grateful to Electroverse. They provide us with a lot of information. Do have a look at Electroverse. We're not in competition there. A couple of last round of comments here because we're nearly out of time. Christopher says, Miliband hasn't worked out what happens when you reach net zero. Postcards, please. Nothing happens when you reach net zero because net zero is meaningless. 97% of carbon dioxide, which is emitted, this is pretty much a fact, 97% of it is naturally generated. So if human beings vanished tomorrow, that would reduce CO2 emissions by 3%. So Fiona Bruce of the BBC on Question Time thought that a third of carbon dioxide was emitted by humans. And then they edited it out. It's unforgivable to me. If one of the guests, one of the panelists had said it, they'd have left it in. But because she said it, they edited it out. And I think that was disingenuous. But we know that they're prone to editing things. Just ask Donald Trump. And Ricky Sickles says, last word, he just think since the 1970s, we have burned up and drowned at least half a dozen times. Not true, Ricky. We also had ice ages through the whole of the 1970s, which became global warming in the 1980s, and which is now climate change. It's like saying that person's always unfeasibly happy. Then you say, no, actually, that person's unfeasibly happy, miserable, same person. And now you say, oh, they're just really moody. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. I was just going to say, when I mean, we're a similar vintage. When we were growing up, when we had like a good winter, and by good winter, I mean, 2 foot of snow, there wasn't anything on the news about it being a panic. It was just sort of like, well, it snowed a lot, hasn't it? But there was no sort of, there was no agenda to it. There was no sort of, oh, we're all doomed kind of mentality. And we're still here. Okay, we might have had a really heavy snowfall in 1982. I think was a particularly bad year. Good year.
I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, I did too. I like it. My kids do know what the snow is because they were throwing snowballs a couple of weeks ago, and I hope the snow comes back. Really, I love the snow. I think it's great. Final story which I'm going to choose.
Go on.
We've been told that polar bears are facing extinction for years, maybe decades. The polar bears, those cuddly animals that would eat you up if you got anywhere close to them, have been the poster boys of the climate emergency. They're going extinct and so on. Now, and anyone who's read a book by a woman called Susan Crockford, she's a great, great scientist who pointed out this is all complete pap, complete rubbish. Now they can't hide the fact that the polar bear population is going up. Here's their story on this one. I don't know if we can get it up. Quick. We're running out of time. There we are. Here we are. This is from The Conversation, by the way. There we are. Conversation. Polar bears are adapting to climate change at a genetic level, and they could help them avoid extinction. They're now saying the polar bear population is surviving because they've genetically changed across a few years, maybe a few decades. Not only are polar bears doing better, but they've now proved that Darwin was wrong. You don't need millions of years to evolve. You just need the length of time it takes to discredit the climate emergency.
Now, you see, if we do get to net zero, they will morph into koalas. So it's all good news for everybody. Brilliant.
Just imagine seeing a polar bear up a tree. What's the best cheese to get a bear? What's the best cheese to get a bear out of a tree with?
Come on, bear.
I could have told it better.
Oh, all right then. Brie, similar. Brie.
Not really. What's the best cheese to hide a horse with?
Go on.
Quick.
Go on.
Mascarpone. Back to the final story. So I think I'm here all week. This is absolutely summing up everything that's going on here. Polar bear population has been going up and up and up because the polar bear population is largely dependent on hunting.
Yeah.
To what extent are they being hunted? And when Eskimos aren't allowed to hunt them, then the numbers go up. There's something else that stands to reason. People say that polar bears depend on the ice to hunt. They actually depend on being able to get into the water to hunt.
Yeah.
So they'll find a way. And then the tasty seals, which is fast food for polar bears, they show up and these guys have a gobble. What they do apparently do is they change the amount of children they have based on the amount of food they have. I bet you a lot of species do that. But this absolutely sums it up to me, Paul Naylor. Now, because they cannot explain why the polar bear population, which is meant to be heading towards extinction, is going up, they say, oh, it's genetic modification. I just don't believe it, Paul. Rubbish!
I just love how they link everything with climate change. That's just ridiculous. But
it is ridiculous. Yeah. It really is. Right, thank you. Where can people find out more about the Alliance of British Drivers?
Okay, so if you log on to abd.org.uk, we are experiencing some issues with our website. So if people do struggle to get in touch with it, then by all means, get in touch with me at my company. So that's Paul at mediaenjooy.co.uk, and let us know if you are having issues getting onto our website, because we think that certain service providers are, for whatever reason, filtering us out. Maybe because we go against the mainstream. I'm only supposing.
Once again, I want to thank our brilliant gallery for putting Full Throttle in the corner. Get rid of it.
No, leave it. Leave it.
Get rid of it.
Make it bigger. Make it bigger.
Smaller. Okay, that sounds like a really, really old, cheap quiz show now. Didn't they do well? Thank you very much indeed. That is Paul Naylor. And I can tell you that, he's a good guy, actually, I have to admit. No, they're going to leave that Full Throttle up to the end now. If you do want to find more from Full Throttle or me or anybody else, go to Unprecedented TV. At Unprecedented TV, it should show up straight away. We've gone right up to very near the top of the search engines now. Thanks to you. Please like and subscribe. That's all I ask you to do. Like and subscribe. It makes such a big difference to us when you do. Let me summarize what I think about the climate emergency. There isn't one. I think human beings make a negligible and not a dangerous difference to the climate. I think the reason we end up in all of this mess is because there's a huge ton of money to be made by making people afraid. Climate of fear? I don't think so. Snow, bring it on. And Dr. David Viner, my children do know what snow is. And if you have any, I bet so do yours. Have a very white February. And I'll see you, well, I'll probably see you over the weekend, actually, because we've got some specials coming up if you're watching this live. But just one more thing, please, 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 whatever you watch next week, on Tuesday at 0800 GMT, please watch Claire Dyer. It's an amazing and very honest, and actually, I think, a very moving explanation of why Claire Dyer does what she does. She stands in the line of fire when it comes to quite serious restrictions on your freedoms, so that you actually have the right to listen to us, disagree, shout at the screen, whatever you want to do, but to be a free person. I'm Lembit Öpik. This is Unprecedented Television, and that was Lembit Öpik Live. See you soon.
Immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The return of the sausages.